This process did not begin for me at step one, nor was I in step one when I came to Alcoholics Anonymous. I believe if there is a step one, there must be a step zero. They talk about it in my home group in Santa Monica a lot. Step zero is that wonderfully horrible period of time from your last drink until you give yourself to the first step of recovery. That could be 6 months. I was ready to kill myself. But I had a great 6 months until I was given the grace to see the nature of my condition further away from my last drink than I'd ever been. That's baffling if you still think alcohol or drugs or both were your problem. Alcohol and drugs were my solution that I poured on the problem for a long time, and for a long time it worked. Step zero is that period of time where you're round and around and around. And you know what you're doing in step zero? Whether it's 4 months or 4 days or 4 years or 20 years before you give yourself to the first step. You know what you're doing in that circle, in that zero step? You're eliminating alternatives till you get down to 2, the big book says, then you're ready for the program. And what are those 2 alternatives? Die an alcoholic death or live on a spiritual basis. Mine was like, die an alcoholic death, live on a spiritual basis, or do the best I could and just not drink. And I made it 6 months with that, in the grace of God, but I was taking the credit. I believe there's a form of denial, stronger than the denial some of us came here with. And it's a form of denial that you can be in 5 years sober, 10 years sober, 15 years sober, 20, 30. And it's not talked about that much. And I know I'm not the only one. Mark's had it, other friends. I know people in this room that have had it. And it's not the denial of the disease. It's the denial of the grace of God. And that's when you're taking the credit. Look at the great job I've done. Thank God that God doesn't care whether He gets the credit or not. He doesn't need any more credit. But sometimes I can be in that denial. And once again, see, I'm not in step zero just once. You can be in step 9.0. And all of a sudden those amends don't have nothing to do with being powerless over alcohol anymore. And you're eliminating alternatives. Die an alcoholic death, live on a spiritual basis, make amends, or pursue a life. I have to get a life. My God. God's given me a new life. Some people say I got my old life back. I don't want my old life or my old mind. My sponsor said, restored to sanity, we're going to assume you went crazy 4 seconds after you were born. You don't need to be restored to your old mind. You need a new mind. So step zero is that wonderful place that can be wonderfully horrible until you're ready for the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. You're eliminating alternatives. Die an alcoholic death, live on a spiritual basis, or get the right girlfriend. Die an alcoholic death, live on a spiritual basis, or just go to meetings. Die an alcoholic death, live on a spiritual basis, or get the right job. And you run all those things into the ground because those things will not treat your spirit.